Okay. There we go. Good enough. Okay. So Northern Ireland. Hello. Is it Gillian or Jillian? Excuse my ignorance. I don't know how to pronounce names. Okay. Hello, Mackenzie. Missouri. Sweden. Have I been there? No, I've never been to any Nordic countries. I'm half Norwegian, but I've never been there in that area. Minnesota, US. Minnesota. I know where that is. Okay. We got enough people in here. Let's get going. I'm on YouTube the whole time whenever I'm doing a live, although it's been glitching a lot lately. I'm in a new location. I'm actually looking after my granddaughter today. So if you hear someone else chatting, that would be my granddaughter. I've got her on the baby cam, but she's not asleep yet. I was worried that she might not fall asleep, so I may as well do the live now anyway. Okay, so I'll just introduce myself. My name is Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go on my website, it's BratBusters.com. You can see my free behavior board. You can look into the boot camp courses. I have 2 of them. I have one for toddlers, one for older kids. Sorry, I'm in a new location here. And if you want to hire me for coaching, that would be there's a big wait list for that. It's all on BratBusters.com. And I'll get to eventually, though. And then our podcast is BratBusters Parenting Podcast. Starting today, we've got 7 podcasts in 7 days. It's a 7-day series with all of our basic information, all of the stuff that you ask mostly about, and how sort of BratBusters operates. So that just starts today. Also, our Black Friday sale. So is it called Black Friday? Yeah, Black Friday. It's funny because it runs for a lot longer than that. Anyway, our Black Friday sale starts this Friday. So anyway, check for that. If you want to get in on that deal for the courses, it's not for coaching. It's just for the courses, 25% off. You go on my website, BratBusters.com, and at the very top, you sign up for my newsletter. That is the Get Access button. Anyway, so I think that's it. Yeah, let's get going with your questions. I'll do my best to answer them. I'm in a different setup. I'm babysitting my granddaughter out here, and I have her 1 day a week, which is like my favorite day. So, okay, let's go here. Ocala, Florida. I've never heard of that. Hi, Diane. UK, Beata. Hello, Beata. Mass. I'm assuming, Jennifer, it's Massachusetts. Rachel Huggins, British Columbia. I don't get as many Canadians. Because I know that this Thursday is the American Thanksgiving. We celebrate our Thanksgiving, which isn't as big a deal in Canada. And we celebrate ours in the first couple of weeks, the first week in October, which is also my birthday. So sorry, I've just got a weird setup here. Okay. I'm in a different location. Okay. This is Kylie from UK. Me and my husband have recently been following you. Behavior board is making big difference. Oh, very good. I always say I'll give you the information. You're the ones who do all the work. So pat yourself on the back. Good for you. Okay. This is Jen. My son is 3 years old and constantly whines. He wants to go home. Even when we're doing something fun, he just never seems happy. Okay. He's probably feeding off your energy. Like he gets a level of attention for saying that. It probably upsets you and you probably talk about it a lot. So you get into these discussions and that's probably what's feeding that. I would just say, you'll be all right. We're going to go home soon. So treat it like it's no big deal. See if that makes a difference. Your attitude has a huge impact on them, way more than you would realize. Sorry, I think she just fell asleep. My granddaughter was chatting on the baby cam here. So I was waiting for her to fall asleep before I started. I think she's fallen asleep. Okay. Okay. My son is 13 months old and he's suffering really bad separation anxiety and is very upset after starting nursery. Is there anything I can do to help him? No. What could you possibly do? You know, some parents say if you give them a sweater that smells like you or rub their shirt on you and then, so the scent of you, but you know what, when they're upset and they miss you, I don't think that helps much. I think it's negligible. But what I would do is just realize it's going to take 3 to 6 weeks for them to, usually separation anxiety takes 3 to 6 weeks to go away. Don't make a big deal out of the goodbye or the hello. Just treat it like, oh, hi, like you say goodbye, see you later, and walk off. He's just a baby, right? So just walk off, make it as fast as possible. And when you say hello, don't make it a big emotional reunion either, because then he's going to attach emotions to you leaving or coming back. So you don't want to do that. You just want to make it like, okay, see you later. And, oh, hi. Okay, we're going to go home now. Let's go. You see, be cheery, but not don't throw emotions into it. This is Melissa Lynn. Just came across your page and it couldn't have come at a better time. I have a 7-year-old who is so defiant about oh my, it's a long one. Oh my, probably won't be able to get to it all. So defiant about everything and will constantly forget things. He has to be told 5 times. Okay, I only say something once. If they don't do it, then there's a consequence. Check out my free behavior board. And I've got on the courses, 25% off starting this Friday. You have to be signed up to the newsletter to get that. And that is the behavior board. You have to sign up to the newsletter to get the behavior board. It's on BratBusters.com. And yeah, check out the behavior board. That might be all you need. Okay. But if you want the courses, there's a big sale coming up on Friday. Yeah, he's not forgetting, by the way. He's just waiting for that 5th time that you say it and then you blow up. He's used to it. You've conditioned him. Okay. I say something once, and if it's something that needs to be done and they don't do it, then I either take action and make it happen, or there's a consequence for them not doing it the first time. Yeah, he hears you. You've trained him, by the way. You've conditioned him to be like that. You know, whenever parents say, I got to fix my kid, it's never the kid, it's always you. So you've trained him to do that. Okay. Hi from Canada. Hi, Emily. What do you recommend for kids that are constantly getting out of bed at bedtime? You just keep putting them back to bed. That's in my boot camp courses. But it's in both of them. And I call it bedtime battles. It's in 2 parts: how to get them to bed, which is usually the easy part, then how to keep them there. That's the hard part. So the first time they get out of bed, you say, I said it's bedtime, walk them back to bed. Second time, you say one word, bedtime. Every time after that, you walk them back to bed. Be slow. Don't speed it up or else you look angry. Just be calm. Don't look at them or talk to them. You just keep putting them back to bed. Only one body part has to touch that mattress and you've put them back to bed. You're not tucking them in. You're just putting them back on their mattress, right? Yeah. Good luck with that. It's one of my most successful things that I teach is bedtime battles, but it's a battle. It's often just one night. Okay, you have to put the ages down usually. Okay. Is it too old to do the behavior board at 6 years of age? No, because I specialize in teenagers. And that's how, I started it with teenagers. That's how I started my business was teen crisis work. And we used a behavior board. Not always, depends on what's really going on. But also a lot of my parents, they have a behavior board between the 2 of them. So, and it usually says, and they just keep it in the master bathroom and it's for the parents. And the rule is usually no undermining the other parent. And if they do, they have to give them a foot massage or something. And you can guess what else happens with that one. Okay. Okay, this is on YouTube. I know it's a weird angle here. I'm at my my son's house. I've got my granddaughter 1 day a week. So it's just she's napping. So I'm all set up here. And the reason that we're doing the live, I'm doing a live right now, is because I've just got a couple of announcements. That's the 7 podcasts in 7 days. It's all of our basic information. If you really want to know about BratBusters, the 7 series that we just started today are all the basic stuff. I always forget that word. It starts with it's all the basic stuff. What's that called? I just never forget. And someone told me, what's that called when it's all your basic information? What's the word for that? Intel or I can't remember. Anyway, that's starting today, the podcast. I think it's already been put out, the first one in the series. And then they will be bundled up after the week-long series. It will be bundled up and easily found on the podcast platforms. And then also our Black Friday sale starts just on the courses. Coaching will never go on sale. It's just going to keep going up and up because the wait list is so huge. I'm trying to balance out the wait list. That's why I have to keep increasing my prices. That's what you do, evidently. So, but yeah, the coaching will never go on sale, just the courses. And let me see here. Yeah, and that was it. And if you want the sale, you want to take advantage of the bootcamp course sale, you have to be signed up to the newsletter. That's how you get the link to all that. Okay, now, sorry, I was just going to answer a question on YouTube. What to do when a 6-year-old boy doesn't clean up his mess, which is a chore, but they don't do it? Then you give a consequence and no TV time. Do you still make them do the chore? No, you don't. No. So they didn't do, let's say they have a chore. Let's say they have to make their bed every morning. They choose not to do it. So they don't have to. It's their choice. You never try and make choice decisions for them. You want them to make their own decisions. So they can decide whether or not they're going to do their chore or not. Don't micromanage that. You want to leave life up to them, basically. So they chose not to do the chore that is a daily chore. So then you have a consequence, and that just happens to be do a chore within 15 minutes. It could be make the bed, but I don't really like using it that way. Sometimes I'll incorporate that and something else. I'll add something else on. But basically, just get them to do a chore. It explains it all on the behavior board at BratBusters.com. And now, so their first choice was to do the rule on the behavior board, which is make your bed. They chose not to do that. Then you go to a consequence. There's always two consequences. The first one's a positive action. Do a chore, empty the dishwasher or something, whatever. They don't do that. Okay. Now you say, okay, that was your choice. Now 24-hour media blackout starts now. They may say, but I'm going to make my bed. I'm going to do the other chore. I say, well, you can do that if you want, but you don't have to, because 24-hour media blackout started right just 30 seconds ago. You see, once you've said it, it has to happen. You got to say what you mean and mean what you say. If you don't, you're not a leader. South Africa. Hello. I've had clients all over the world. Where did I used to say I never had a client from Russia, I think, but I think I've got a client from Russia this year. Oh, you're asking about how to get a toddler to like eating and all that. I don't get into all that. That's nutrition based. So I can't get into that. In coaching, everything comes up, and I'm very careful how I talk about that. I have no qualifications for nutrition. I'm not a doctor or nutritionist or anything. So I'm very careful about that. Hi, Tabitha. Oh, good. Okay. Excellent. So Tabitha said, Tabitha's a real regular on YouTube with the lives. Was just starting to listen to your first podcast of the 7 Days of Basics. 7 Days of Basics. Yeah, basics. Yeah. What's a better word for that? When it's all your basic information, a whole. It's funny because I was doing a live the other night and people came up with two perfect words for it. What is something like formula, whatever. Anyway, just can't remember what it was. But yeah, so hopefully you'll enjoy those 7 series. My daughter put a lot of work into that. She organizes all the podcasts. She decides what we're going to talk about. Whatever you see is my daughter's put out there. She tells me what to talk about, but then I'm a loose cannon. She never knows what I'm going to say. I never know what I'm going to say. Amy had it worded better. Yeah, she's very good at that. Thanks, Tabitha. Yeah, she's very good at all that stuff. Yeah, that's my daughter. She works with me. And I'm babysitting my granddaughter, who is my son's daughter. So. Okay. This is Ben Davis. My 11-year-old seems to have an attitude all the time. Separated parents, 2 homes in 6th grade. Good student, but likes to fight. Oh, okay. Good student, but likes to fight. So fighting kids at school, we connect on a few things, church, sports, but everything else seems to be a struggle. Maybe you are exactly alike, but need some advice for parenting a kid that's always bored. Yes, his mom gave him a phone at 10 years old. I'm completely against it. Okay, now, you said fight. I can't, let's just eliminate that because I don't know if he's fighting with kids at school. That would be something different. I would discuss it differently. Let's say he's just got an attitude. If they have an attitude, it says that you're not a leader. Even if the home is sort of dismantled and you've separated and all that stuff, they still lean into leaders. The leader makes them feel safe, secure. They just don't tend to change their attitude towards a leader, no matter what's going on in their lives. So yeah, work on your leadership skills and the attitude will eventually go away. The attitude is not something you ever talk about or you ever address. Their bad attitude just says you're not a leader and they don't respect you. That's it. Okay. So work on yourself. Now, the attitude goes away organically. It takes 3 to 6 weeks. No, 3 to 6 months really for an 11-year-old, 3 to 6 months before it just disappears. It's a lot of work. You got to earn that. It's a lot of work getting respect at that age, but it's doable. You've got to say the ages here. Yeah, you didn't put down the age, so I can't answer that. Okay. This is Jennifer. Raising my adopted son out of foster care. Now, I know there's no age here, but I'm going to discuss it anyway because you got a kid out of foster care and there's stuff going on. Since he started preschool, he is dysregulated at home. If he's hurt, angry, he says, swears, and gets violent. I ignore, but he hits me a lot. Okay, just work on your calm leadership skills. If that's not enough, then you might want to look into hiring me or getting some support from someone else. Coaching's expensive. If that's not an option, go to the school and ask if they have any mentorship programs or something for you. That can happen somewhere. I've heard of that for parents, helping you along. So yeah, you might want to get some support for that. But generally, just set yourself up as a leader using my free behavior board. If you want the courses, the 25% off sale starts this Friday, by the way. So don't buy it now. But yeah, you might want to look into that. If he's getting violent and yeah. And he said since preschool. Preschool is usually 3 or 4, depending on what state or country or province you live in, whatever. So I'm assuming he's probably 5 or 6 by now. But I'm just guessing. Okay, bad attitude. I've already addressed that. You set yourself up as a calm leader and their bad attitude just goes away. Happens organically. On a second note, though, any recommendations of how to break the news of a divorce to her? Both parents will remain in her life regularly. That's tricky. I went through that with my kids. I just said their dad was supposed to do it, and then he chickened out. So I said, your dad and I don't love each other, so we're getting a divorce. Just say it like it is. Okay. And then they never saw us fight, though. So, and then we always got along. Were we friends? No, but we always got along for the kids' sake. You're stuck with that person for the rest of your life, right? So yeah, we always got along for the kids' sake. So they don't care if you stay together. They just care that you get along and that their life remains kind of consistent. That's the biggest deal, right? So yeah, I would just say it like it is. How are you going to break that news easily? They're going to hear the words. They're going to hear those words somewhere. When they put it together, the impact's going to be the same, no matter how you cushion it, right? Okay. Sorry, but I do have to go because I'm on borrowed time. My granddaughter's just fallen asleep and I got to get going because I want to be able to go from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. So I got to time her nap around this. Anyway, if you want to check out my website, it's BratBusters.com. You can see my free behavior board, my boot camp courses. They're on sale this Friday, 25% off, starting on Friday. And then coaching, if you want to work with me, that's not going on sale. There's a big wait list for that, but I will get to eventually. And the podcast, we started our 7-day series today, 7 podcasts in 7 days. It's all of our basic information. So if you want to know about leadership parenting, that's where you'll go. After this series is out, my daughter will be bundling it up so you can get access to it easily. But yeah, every single day, we've already filmed a podcast every single day. So, and then the sale, like I said, you have to join the newsletter to get in on that sale that starts this Friday. Anyway, okay, thanks so much for joining me. I'm on YouTube the whole time whenever I'm doing a live, and I hop from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. So I'm going to Instagram now. Happy parenting. So I know I'm looking up here, YouTube, but I could have got a box, I guess, but I don't know where to find that, just somewhere different. Okay, Instagram. Oops. Come on. There we go. Okay. Hello. I'm just waiting. People turn up real fast on Instagram. Everywhere else, they peter in. I don't know why Instagram's so different. No idea. Hi from Arizona. Hello. Jazzy Fresh. It's cute. Okay. We've been talking about snowbirding, which is Canadians, they go down the States for winter. When my grandkids get a little bit older, I'm planning on doing that. So have grandkids down there too. It'll be fun. So Arizona is certainly a destination for Canadians, so I might end up there. I won't go to the same place every time, probably. Okay, so everyone's here already, I'm assuming. Let's get going. My name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go on my website, it's BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board, which is on my website, BratBusters.com. You can look into my courses. I have 2 of them, boot camp courses, one for toddlers, one for older kids. They go on sale this Friday for Black Friday, 25% off. Coaching never goes on sale. There's a big wait list for that. If you want to get on work with me, then I'll get to you eventually. Anyway, and then the podcast, BratBusters Parenting Podcast, it's on all the platforms and we save them on YouTube. And we are doing a 7 podcast in 7 days series starting today. It's all of our basic information. It's all going to be bundled in one series. So we just downloaded the first one today. Croatia. Hello, MK. Anyway, okay, so I think that's it. If you do want to take advantage of the boot camp sale, you have to be signed up to my newsletter, which is at the very top of my website. It's where the behavior board is. And it says get access, a blue button. Anyway, let's get going. Okay. My almost 4-year-old prefers mom over dad and is mean to dad most of the time. How can we help their relationship? Well, I don't understand the meanness. That's bad behavior. So yeah, if you want to improve their relationship, help set him up as a leader. And leaders, most of the focus as a leader is to playing with the kids. It's not disciplining. So yeah, play. Play is their love language. I don't know if he plays with her and lets her get away with stuff and she pushes him around. I don't know. Or he just doesn't play with her enough, but play is their love language. Okay, hi from New Zealand. We used to ski in Queenstown because we lived in Australia. This is Christine from New Zealand. Wanted to ask you how you let your kids, 3 and 1-year-old. How do you let your kids? Oh, shoot, it just jumped. Okay, that we're moving into a house and how to handle it. You can't prepare them for any changes really because they don't have any concept of moving. So how can you prepare them for it? And you know what? As prepared as I've been for moves, I've never been prepared for a move. It's just chaotic and crazy. I would say one of the hardest move I ever did leading up to it was moving my kids back to Canada from Australia after like 20 years there. That was hard. A lot of legal stuff because you're on a one-way ticket, a Canadian sounding mother with 2 Australian kids. That was tricky. And my ex-husband, who's Australian, he moved right out. Like he came with us, but a few weeks later. But anyway, that was a very tricky move. But it was probably one of the most organized moves I ever had because I had to be. Everything went on a shipping container. But how can you prepare? I can't prepare for a move. How could you prepare kids for a move? It's one of those things. It's like how do I prepare my toddler for a new baby? You don't. I don't know how you would. Oh, you asked about ADHD. That's where I learned all this stuff. It just takes a little bit more time and patience sometimes. That's all. Have you potty trained before too? My girls are 17 months. Okay. Potty training, I do have a course on that. It's in both of my boot camp courses. The sale starts this Friday for the courses. Anyway, there's potty training in there and I call it a potty party. Like it's all positivity and incentive based. But I don't start until they're 2.5 because if you start too early, they're more likely to regress. A lot of parents want to start really early. Oh, well, he's always trying to pull his diaper off. And yeah, you make that call. It might work. It might not. I waited till my kids were 2.5. My daughter, I probably could have trained at 2. But I just made that decision. I thought, I'm just going to do it in one day. I trained both my kids and my son in 1 day, my daughter in 2 days. No night diapers, no pull-ups, nothing. But I was already a leader. It's a good way to get some leadership kudos. But if you're already a leader, it can go really well. So. Okay. Yeah, if you train too early, they might not regress, but they're more likely to. And I just didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to deal with accidents, night diapers, nothing. I thought I'm just stripping off the diapers and it's game on. It's a whole system on how you do it. So I can't give you tips because it's a whole system. Okay. 16-month-old escapes car seat, slides buckle down and shrugs strap off. That's up to you. You got to figure that out. There's all sorts of things like that's on you, not your kid. So you've got to figure out, there are things that you can buy. It's like a vest. I've seen them, but I can't talk a lot about it because it's a safety issue and I'm not an expert on this. But if you do have a kid who can wiggle out of a car seat, for one thing, I wonder if you're doing it right. Like I don't quite know how, maybe it's not tight enough the way you do it. Anyway, there is this thing and it's like a vest that goes over them so they can't get access to anything. I've seen pictures of it. You're going to have to look that up and decide for yourself if that's the right way to go. But this is a 16-month-old. That's your responsibility. It's not their fault they're doing it. It's your responsibility to make it not doable. Three-and-a-half-year-old cries wolf when being corrected. So just follow through with what you need to do and don't worry about what they say. Remember, when you're disciplining, they need to react to you, not the other way around. They're usually on the low road when you're disciplining them. So you stay on that high road and just follow through. Whatever they say, I hate you, I didn't know, just go, whatever. Anyway, here's your consequence. So I'm just scrolling ahead to make sure you're still here when I answer. 4-year-old being demanding, that's a learned behavior. They don't come out of the womb like that. So you're probably spoiling them or over-explaining. It's the same thing. So yeah, are you spoiling them by giving into them, or are you over explaining everything? That's what causes that. So food for thought. Well, my almost 3-year-old's very well behaved at childcare and with grandparents. Never any issues. At home, she tantrums, demands, whines, screams, hits. Okay. So work on your leadership skills. If she knows how to be good, then I would say that's their leaders. They're more leaders. So work on your leadership skills. It's always you. It's never the kid. It's always you. Well, not so much at toddler age, but yeah. But she's almost 3. Yeah. Work on yourself. I'm not fixing kids here. I'm fixing and teaching parents. Parents always want to say, how do I fix my kid? And I say, well, I've never done that. Never done that in my whole life. I've been working with kids for 50 plus years. I work on myself, and you lead, they will follow. They're naturally drawn to a leader. It's just a natural instinct for a child to need, crave, and want leadership. Okay, you got a 2-year-old hitting and throwing things, so you just use consistent corrective action. That's actually explained in my free behavior board. It's at BratBusters.com, and it's a get access button at the very top. You go in there and you'll get my free behavior board, which also has a toddler mini course in there. So it's 2 little mini courses, one for toddlers, one for 3 and above, and it's free. If you want the bigger courses, the boot camp courses, of course, they're more extensive. Then you have to pay for those, but they are going on sale this Friday, so don't buy them until then. 25% off. Coaching never goes on sale. It just keeps going up and up. I'm trying to balance out the cost of it to the wait list is huge. I think it's kind of like maybe getting a bit more under control. I think I had about 300 on the wait list over the summer. It was nuts. So that's why the price keeps going up. That's what you do, evidently. Okay. That's my favorite thing to do in my business is coaching. I'm like in another dimension when I'm talking to someone. Doesn't matter what's going on in my life. I can be stressed out as soon as that parent turns up. I love coaching. I'm very lucky. I mean, the back end of the business is hard work, but the coaching is just, I love it. So I don't think we don't need the coaching. Like, I don't think I'll ever give it up though. We've talked about it. Like, when do I quit coaching? Because it's time for dollars and it's just not as worth it. And but yeah, I love coaching. It's just, that's my connection. That's my mothering. I love mothering. That's why I teach this. It's my best role is mothering. And it doesn't come naturally to everybody. People think it should, but it doesn't have to. Okay, you love your kids, but mothering or fathering, it doesn't just come naturally to everybody. It did to me. I was born to do this, I believe. But if it doesn't, you're more that's more normal, that it doesn't come naturally. It's something you have to learn. They say that, well, I didn't want to, years and years ago, people used to be embarrassed to hire me. Now they brag about it because it's like having a personal trainer too. You got a personal coach, right? A parenting coach. But the thing is that parenting used to come naturally. Now, this is 100 years ago. The difference is there was a village raising kids. You had grandparents around, you had neighbors, aunts, uncles, lots of kids running in the streets, and the mom was home all day with the apron and the rolling pin. It was just a different world, right? She had a whole bunch of support. Plus, no one really thought about how they parented. Just keep the kids alive, and that was about it. So it's a fallacy that it should come naturally. No, I don't believe that. It did with me for sure, but I was rare. I really believe I was born to do this. So I didn't know that till I was much older, but I was always born to mother. So, but that's not the norm. It's just not that it comes that easily to everybody. Also, never take advice from someone who didn't find parenting easy. You don't want to you don't want someone who's relatable. Well, they struggled too. Why would you want to take parenting advice from someone who struggled with it? Yeah, so that's one of the main things. I think if you're going to take parenting advice from someone, they have to have found it easy and fun, which I did. They have to have finished the job. How on earth can you teach parenting if you don't know how it goes right through the teen years? You have to specialize in teenagers too. Also, I didn't learn much with my own kids. I learned most of this with everybody else's kids, hundreds of them. So all ages, toddlers, teens, and I managed to get respect with all of them. Those are the 3 criteria, because it's a specialty, right? Parenting is not like teaching or child psychology or anything. A lot of my clients are those people, and I couldn't do their jobs, but parenting's personal. It just hits you in a different space. It's completely different from any other role. This is so ugly, but I've had it for like 20 years. It's my favorite. No, I've got all these other nicer ones. I've chucked them all and just used that one still. I love that water bottle. Never leaks or anything. Okay, so I'm going to scroll ahead to make sure you're still here. I haven't got my usual notes with me. I usually like to do some of those, but I'm in a different location. I'm just babysitting my granddaughter and watching her on this. I'll tell you, I wish I'd had this with my kids. I never knew what was going on in their rooms. Every so often I'd try and peek in. They always knew. I had no webcam. Okay. Actually, sorry, but I do. Oh, I have to address this. You didn't put an age, which I always prefer, but I'm going to address it anyway, and you'll know why in a second. Anyway, I'm going to be hopping over to TikTok soon. But you said some won't listen to me when I put them in timeout. I hate timeout. Get rid of it. If you want to know more about that, just Google BratBusters timeout. Tons of videos will pop up. I hate timeout. I think it's mean. Anyway, check out my website. It's BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board. You can look into my bootcamp courses. They go on sale this Friday, 25% off. Or you can look into coaching. I have a huge wait list for that, but I will get to eventually. That'll never go on sale. And it's just the courses that are on sale. And then the podcast, BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and we save it on YouTube. Now we've got a 7 podcast in 7 days series that we just started today. It's all of our basic information about BratBusters and calm leadership parenting, because I invented all this stuff. So if you want to look at that, the first one came out today, and they will be bundled up, and you'll be able to get access to that down the road. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I'm hopping over to TikTok now, and I'm on YouTube the whole time, which is where my lives are saved. Anyway, happy parenting. Sorry, YouTube. Oh, sorry, YouTube. It just takes me a minute to get this going. There we go. I did one last night, a live last night, and YouTube, TikTok didn't used to be as many people. I had 5,000 just, I figured I'd get about maybe 10,000 in a live. Oh, because they come and go. But yeah, 5,000 of those were just on TikTok last night. So usually Instagram is usually bigger. So I don't know what happened with TikTok. I don't understand any of this. So anyway, just waiting for everyone to turn up. By the way, on YouTube, I just found this out last week. My daughter does all the social media and all that marketing, and only the lives and the podcasts go on YouTube. She got rid of all the videos. So I don't question her. That's her area. I try to look like I'm interested when she's talking about the marketing and social media. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so let's get, thanks, Benedetta. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm just going to introduce myself before we get right into it. My name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go on my website, it's BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board. You can look at my bootcamp courses. They go on sale this Friday, so don't buy them today. One for toddlers, one for older kids, and it's 25% off. Coaching has a big wait list. There's nothing, it'll never go on sale. But that's different if you want. I'll get to you eventually, by the way, coaching, but right now it's a big wait list. And what else? Oh yeah, the podcast. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and we save it on YouTube. And we just started today our 7 podcasts in 7 days. It's a series with all of our basic stuff. This is sort of for anyone new who doesn't understand calm leadership parenting, because I invented all this stuff. It's just all my 50 years of experience. And so yeah, that'll be starting. It just started today. She dropped it today at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So let's get going with your questions. Oh, thanks so much. Never give up. I love that. What did I write down? One of my favorite books that the idea behind it is The Obstacle is the Way. It's every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. That's the way I look at life. Like every fail, every time I fall flat on my face, embarrass myself, I think, ooh, learn one more lesson. Just that much smarter. So yeah, good for you. Never give up. Why would you? What's the point? Okay. Okay, now this is Kayla. How can I get my 4-year-old to stop high-pitched screaming when frustrated or mad? I don't like to put attitude or yelling or crying or anything on there, but they're 4 years old and they know what they're doing. High-pitched screaming. I would put that on a behavior board. and say no more high-pitched screaming. And I would explain what that is, because that's more intentional. It's not just a release. But yeah, so I would put no high-pitched screaming and use it as a rule on the free behavior board. By the way, if you do want to get in on that sale, 25% off starting this Friday, the Black Friday sale, you have to be signed up for the newsletter, because that's where the information gets sent, and the coupon code or whatever it is. Don't ask me any more questions about that. That's all I know. My daughter does all that. Okay, is it okay to take teens' phone as punishment? Sort of. That really depends. It's a gray area. I don't know what your connection is with your teenager. So if you're really connected with your teenager and have a really good relationship, that would be the second consequence. The first one is always do a chore, like it's a positive action one. If they break a rule, then you get them to do a chore. Or you can use, okay, there's just so many different things with teenagers, because phones come into it, right? And they're powerful. Phones are very powerful leverage for you. You never take a phone away for more than 24 hours either. So what have you got? After that, what have you got? You might take it away for 24 hours. You might just take it away for an hour after dinner. I don't know. It's a very gray area. And in coaching, I have to figure it all out. But basically, you can use phones as leverage, but go easy with that, because that is their lifeline, okay? It's not like when we were young and had phones. Especially me, we didn't have them. So I had the old dial phone on the wall with the long cord. It was really fancy when we got the long cord that I could stretch into the den, because it was attached to the kitchen wall. Okay. What age do you recommend to give my child a phone? I don't have that information, because I don't know. There's no study on that proves what age is the best for a phone, and what kind of phone. Do they get a burner phone where they can just call you when they need you? No kid wants that. Or do you get full internet access? I don't know. That's a gray area. I don't have a good answer for that. I do think 10 is too young, though, for sure. Maybe around 12 or 13, you might start thinking about it. 14 is a good age for a phone. But under that, it's a gray area. And you know what? You can't protect your children from phones, because someone at school is going to have them. All the kids will crowd around to look at something on the phone. So yeah, you can't. If you think you're protecting your kids by not giving them a phone, they're still going to see what they're going to see, unfortunately. Some kid's going to have it, or they're going to end up at a friend's house. Their older sibling has a phone, and they're just going to see what they're going to see. Sorry about that, but. Okay, my daughter picks up bad habits from other kids so quick. You didn't put down an age, which I always prefer, but generally, if you're a leader, they're not susceptible to other people's influence. They're just drawn to a leader. They're under your umbrella because they feel safe, secure, and they have high self-esteem. So if you're not a leader, they're very vulnerable to peer pressure, which is what that is, or just other influences, right? Peer pressure, bullying, the drug dealer on the corner, the internet, the Kardashians. They're very influenced by everybody else because your influence is not strong enough. That's what leadership does for them. It's your influence kind of guides them into becoming who they are, right? Okay. What do you say when teenagers say, my friends get to do that? Oh, that's an easy one. I remember my son pulled that once. He was maybe 12. Well, everyone else's mom lets them do that. And I say, well, they're not my kids, but you are. That's all I said. And he went, oh, okay, never mind. I don't care. I don't make excuses for that. Yep. He never said another word. I said, they're not my kids. You are. It was all he went. And he literally went, oh. I could see he thought I'll give it a go. Plus, I was very fair and reasonable. Like, if it was something that was kind of on the fence, I probably would have let him do it. But when I took a hard line, my kids just didn't question it, right? But if it was something that was kind of on the fence, they knew it, I knew it, then we'd discuss it, we'd negotiate it. I did that with really young kids too. We'd negotiate stuff if it was on the fence, right? But if it was a hard no, my kids would never have questioned that. I made some really questionable choices too with safety. I was a helicopter parent with safety. I hate that term, helicopter parent, but it was safety. I was, for sure. Like, I was very fussy about who drove my kids. If I didn't know the other parent, I wouldn't let just some parent drive my kids home. I was very fussy about stuff like that. Yeah, so safety I was big with. Oh, I'm so glad, Jay Cardella. So Jay said, I don't know your name, but anyways, just the initial. Thank you for all your tips. You changed my relationship with my child. I just give advice. You're the ones who do all the work. So pat yourself on the back. Good for you. Very good. Oh, you said your child, 1-year-old, cries when you take something away. If they're 16 months and above, if it's something that they can't have, that's fine. And you take it away, obviously, but you redirect a baby. They're babies up until about 16 months. So you redirect their attention. What I do is I do it before I take it away, though. Like, I don't take it away and then do it because they're already in the scene, right? I'm always managing this stuff. I don't try and avoid a scene, but I try and manage it with a baby, especially. So if they've got the remote control and I want it, I might say, "Oh, wow, look at this. What's this?" And then I kind of go like that. And then I say, "Okay, I'm taking the remote." And then I let them know. I don't want to do it so they don't know what's happening, but I want to give them something else to look at first. It's a little bit of a softer way of doing it. Do you have any advice for easier transition? I wish I knew the age. I need an age for that. And put the whole question down and the age, because I won't remember what the question was if you just put an age. I don't know what that means. Sometimes people will ask questions and it might be location, something that's popular in your location, but I don't know what it means. Like the name of something. When do you let a baby cry? For example, when you put them down, they want to be picked up. My kids cried. I picked them up when they were babies. I just did. If a baby cries, I pick them up. Except when I did sleep training at about 10 months old. I did it with both my kids. It was just one night, probably only lasted for about 20 minutes. And I kept going in every couple of minutes. "You're all right." And then I'd leave the room and I sat with a pillow crying into the pillow. That's the only time I let them cry, when I decided to do sleep training at about 10 months old. Otherwise, baby cry, I pick them up. That's just my own personal choice. You don't have to do that, but I believe in the baby cries, it's for a reason. Even if they just want to be spoiled and loved, baby cries, I pick them up. That's just my personal view. I'm not saying that's the way you should do it, but yeah, I never let them cry. Well, I remember once someone said, "Oh, you're spoiling him," with my son. And I never got parenting advice. I was a very common parent, like very confident parent. Common. Anyway, and someone once said to me, they didn't know me, and they said, "Oh, you're going to spoil him if you pick him up when he cries." And I'm like, whatever. Yeah, they shut up after that. I just went, whatever, and picked him up anyway. Don't you tell me about how to deal with my baby. It was someone I didn't really know. It was ridiculous. I hate that saying, "It was well meant." Advice was well meant. Any unsolicited advice is an insult. That's all it is. There's someone who you see and they're overweight. "Oh, I have this really good dieting book. You might want that." You're just trying to help, right? You see, any unsolicited advice is an insult. It's criticism. It just is. There's no other way to take it. None. So yeah, I don't appreciate that. Like, I never give unsolicited advice, and I'm a parenting coach, but I would never give my daughter-in-law or my son parenting advice. If they ask me something, I don't know. I might answer them, but none of my business, not my kid. And they're doing a great job, but I never give unsolicited advice. It's nothing but an arrogant insult. That's all it is. Why did I talk about that? I guess I get a lot of there's a little bit of passion in me when I say that, because I get a lot of parents complaining that their parents or their in-laws are always telling them how to parent, and they're upset. They're very upset by it. They feel criticized. They feel like they can't do anything right. That bothers me. So I always say, you tell them that when you undermine me or give me criticism or whatever advice, as well meant as it may be, it hurts my feelings. If they don't respect that, good luck to you. They're not fixable. Okay, I actually have to get going. My granddaughter's going to be up soon because I'm babysitting today, and I got some emails to answer first. So anyway, I got to get going. Thanks so much for joining me. My website's BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board. My boot camp courses are on there. They go on sale this Friday, 25% off. Coaching is on there, big wait list. It'll never go on sale, but I'll get to you eventually on that if you want to work with me. If not, check out the podcast. That's all free, and there's no wait list. And it's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms. And we started our 7 podcasts in 7 days series today. That will have all of our basic information if you want to know about calm leadership parenting. I invented all this stuff. It's all my own personal experience with kids. So it'll all be in there. And the series just started today. My daughter dropped it today. Anyway, and if you do want to get the sale on the boot camp courses, you have to be on the newsletter to get that, because that's where all the access codes are and everything. And that's at the very top. It's the behavior board, and it says get access. So anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I don't know why I'm doing this with my pen. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Happy parenting. Bye now.